Welcome back. In this video, we're going to provide an overview of how to use the resource plan in Acuity PPM. The functionality for the resource plan is the same in proposals as it is for projects. In this case, we're going to look at the project resource plan, but the way it operates is exactly the same. So firstly, at the very top, we see the resource plan with the project dates. We can see the start and finish date. If you are using baselines, you'll see the baseline start and finish date. The resource plan is synchronized with the start and end date of the project. So if there is a date change to the start and or finish date of the project, the resource plan will be adjusted accordingly. To create a resource, we would click on the Add button. And down below, we can see that there's different information. In this demonstration, we have a departments field, we have a role field, and a resource name field. This represents the resource hierarchy. Your resource hierarchy may be different depending on your configuration. Some organizations may only have 2 levels to the hierarchy, a role and a name. Others may have a 3rd level to the hierarchy, and it can be named something like the department. Within the resource plan, we can see a monthly breakdown. So resources are assigned at a project level with monthly intervals. And currently, we enter this by percent of time. So a standard work week might be 40 hours. That's equivalent to 100%. So 50% of somebody's time would be 20 hours. The heat map is based on the resource utilization. So even though a resource, like in this case Bobby Angus, he's only working 25% of the time for most of these months on the project, the system knows that he's assigned to other project work and other operational work, and therefore he exceeds the utilization threshold for his organization. The utilization threshold can be adjusted, but in this example, it's set to 125%. So any resource that exceeds 125% of their planned work in a given month will show in this dark pink color. Anybody that's between 80 and 125% will show up in this golden color. This is to help indicate general resource utilization, especially for resources that are overutilized. The purpose of this is to help answer fundamental questions. So by creating the resource plan, we can answer the question, do we have resources available to complete our current work? And this information is aggregated at the portfolio level, and we'll have a separate video for the resources where we can see all of the resource data aggregated to understand the total team utilization and potentially the departmental utilization. So in this view, we can see the list of people that have been assigned to the project. Resources are not necessarily users of the system, it's just information. So not all of these resources are necessarily licensed users of Acuity, but we do want to track and their forecasted time. So to add a resource, we would click on the Add button. This will bring up a new dialog window. And again, yours will look a little bit different, but we have the departments shown here, engineering, IT, operations in this example. I'll pick IT for a moment. And then I have a drop-down list of roles. Let's just say I need somebody from the quality team. And then I will look for an individual. I'm going to pick Quincy. And then there's the notion of a top-down estimate. This is the initial estimate of how much time a resource is needed on the project. We will see that we can edit this month over month, but by putting in an initial number, it cascades across the duration of the project, and it makes it easy and to quickly populate the resource plan rather than having to type in a different number month over month. So in this example, we'll type in 15%. We'll hit submit. It'll update, and here we see Quincy's time. He has not exceeded his utilization, so he's in the clear. There's no gold or red coloring. But if we needed to, we can double click into any of these rows and we can go into an edit mode where we could profile the information. So if I want to type in 20% or 25% or 10%, you can do that. This will help you front load or back load the resource plan. You may come up with your own techniques for determining the correct numbers for the resource plan, but the initial estimate cascades across, and you can then edit month over month, either to front load or back load, or simply make an adjustment. To edit an existing resource, if we wanted to change it, we could simply double click on their name. It would bring up the window, or we could click on the row and click edit row. And so perhaps we want to update this person's top-down estimate. We simply want to change it. We could do that. It'll ask, do you want to populate for the whole duration of the project? We'll say yes. It'll refresh, and now we've updated Stacy Atwood for the duration of the project. To delete a resource, we would highlight them and click on delete. And yes, we want to delete the record. And so now we have removed the resource. If you have a lot of people on your project plan, project resource plan, you can filter and edit accordingly. Finally, if you are the project manager and need to change the project dates, this window lets you adjust the start and finish date. And you can either choose to keep the duration constant and shift the project by changing the start date, or you could uncheck that and then change the start and finish date. But we give you the option. If you extend the finish date, do you want to expand the new resource estimates into the new time period? In other words, whatever the last resource estimate was in the project, do you want to perpetuate that or extend that into the new time periods? Or if your project is extended, do you want to create blank estimates, basically a zero estimate for those time periods? I would say in general, most project managers would simply extend or expand their existing resource estimates into the new time period. But you would have to evaluate for your own case. Once we make those changes, the resource plan would be updated accordingly. If you are using the new Gantt feature, then you would need to edit the project schedule on the schedule page, and then that will reflect on the resource plan. If you're using the milestone timeline, then you can still change the project dates from this page or from the timeline page. If you have any questions, reach out to support@acuityppm.com, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thank you.